If you ever stay in a hotel that feels too quiet, leave. Silence has a sound, and once you hear it, it remembers you. My name's Qua, sound engineer from Vietnam. I notice things most people don't, tiny shifts in pitch, hidden frequencies between breaths. In November 2025, I traveled to Bangkok with my wife Lynn, my cousin Man, and her friend Bai. We came for the Loy Krathong Festival, a Thai holiday where people float glowing lotus-shaped lanterns, called krathongs, down the river to honor the water spirits. We booked 2 double rooms at the Bai Yok Sky Hotel, the tallest building in Thailand. Our rooms were on floor 76, the top floor that had just reopened after 7 years. 7 years since, something happened there. When I mentioned it at the front desk, the manager, Mr. Somchai, a thin man with gray suit and glassy eyes, smiled without showing his teeth. Old story, he said. Ghost tourists talk too much. Then he slid 4 keycards across the counter. The elevator hummed all the way up, shaking slightly as if reluctant to climb. Lynn leaned on my shoulder, camera in hand. "Do you smell that?" she whispered. I did. It wasn't cleaning solution or perfume, it was incense smoke, faint but sharp, like burned temple offerings. When the elevator doors opened, the hallway stretched unnaturally long, lined with yellow flickering neon. The lights buzzed out of sync, one after another, like someone walking behind us but never catching up. Mr. Somchai led us straight to room 7608, Man and Bai's room. He didn't knock. Just slid the card, pushed the door open. A gust of cold, sweet air rolled out, like a morgue hiding under perfume. Bai frowned. "You don't knock first." Somchai turned, smiling again. "This floor empty long time," he said. "No one inside." Then he handed me my own keycard for room 7610 and walked away, his leather shoes clicking like drops of water on tile. The door to 7610 groaned when I opened it. Inside, the room looked ordinary, beige walls, patterned carpet, but the air felt dense, like underwater. Lynn set her camera on the table, snapping a few test shots. The flash flickered against the mirror. For half a second, I thought I saw another flash behind her. Probably reflection, I told myself. Probably. Down below, Bangkok's festival music echoed faintly, drums, laughter, 1,000 voices. Yet up here, nothing. Even the air conditioner's hum stopped whenever I listened closely, as if the room were holding its breath with me. That's when I noticed the frequency. A high, trembling pitch, barely audible, somewhere around 18.5 kilohertz. I only caught it because my ears are trained for it. It came and went, like static behind the walls. "Lynn," I said, "you hear that?" She shook her head. "Hear what?" I didn't answer. Because the pitch was already gone. Around 10 p.m., we went down to the streets to join the Loy Krathong crowd. People were lighting candles, sending them drifting down the Chao Phraya River. Thousands of flames swaying on black water, it was hauntingly beautiful. When we came back near midnight, the elevator opened to darkness. The hallway lights didn't turn on this time. Only faint, reddish glow from the city reflected on the windows, enough to cast 2 shadows on the wall ahead of us. One had long tangled hair. The other had horns. Man clutched her small brass bell, used in temple rituals. It started ringing on its own, though her hand was still. Bai raised Lynn's camera, clicked the shutter, flash burst, and for a moment, I saw 2 shapes standing in front of room 7608. When the flash faded, the hallway was empty again. Bai lowered the camera slowly. "Did you see?" "No," I said too fast. "Let's just get inside." Back in 7610, Lynn laughed nervously. "Come on, don't tell me you believe that ghost floor room." But I couldn't shake it off. I replayed the sound in my head, the bell, the shutter, and that high pitch again. Only this time, it wasn't coming from the wall. It was coming from under the bed. I crouched down, phone flashlight trembling in my hand. The light hit the carpet, empty. Then, in the reflection of the metal bed frame, I saw something move. A tiny bare foot, red painted toes, walking slowly away from the bed, though no one was there. Lynn whispered behind me, "Qua, why are there footprints on the ceiling? They say hotels breathe at night." I swear ours was holding its breath. After those footprints on the ceiling, Lynn refused to sleep. She sat by the window, camera in her lap, watching the city lights below like they were the only safe thing left. I pretended to be calm, but my hands wouldn't stop shaking. I'm a sound engineer. I know feedback when I hear it, the faint loop of a signal feeding into itself. But what I was hearing at 12:07 a.m. wasn't feedback. It was a voice, hiding inside the static. Tiny. Childlike. Laughing. I pulled out my monitor headphones, plugged them into the portable recorder I always carry. I boosted the gain, trying to catch the source. The waveform jumped, too high for human speech. 18.5 kilohertz again. The death frequency, some people call it. Anything beyond that, and your brain starts filling in what it can't really hear. "Stop," Lynn whispered, covering her ears. I can feel it. It's inside my teeth. I turned the recorder off. Silence dropped like a blanket. Then, catch. Something moved in the next room. 7608. Through the wall, I heard a faint metallic tap, tap, tap. Like someone hitting a small bell rhythmically. Man's bell. I pressed my ear against the wall. Between the taps, there was chanting, soft, monotone, like Buddhist prayers, but it was warped, reversed, playing backward. "Maybe she's doing a cleansing ritual," Lynn muttered. But her voice broke halfway. Because right then, a second voice joined in through the hotel's built-in ceiling speaker. It wasn't music. It was chanting too. Same rhythm. Perfect sync. That's when I realized, the speaker wasn't connected to any system. The panel was off. At 12:30 a.m., we decided to check on them. The hallway was even darker now. The air smelled thicker, like burnt wax and wet dust. Lynn held her phone light up, it flickered in and out like it was breathing. Room 7608's door was closed, but the small red "Do Not Disturb" light was blinking fast. Too fast. I knocked. "Man. Bye. You awake?" No answer. Only the faint click-click of the brass bell. I tried the handle, locked. Then Vi screamed. A sharp, wet scream, cut short halfway. Lynn dropped the phone, the light rolled under the door, and for a second, I saw her reflection in the metal handle, eyes wide, mouth open, and another face behind her that wasn't hers. I shoved my shoulder against the door. It didn't budge. Then, the handle turned on its own. Slowly. The door creaked open just an inch. A gust of cold air hit me, smelled like incense smoke mixed with rotten flowers. I called out, "Vi." The bathroom light was on inside the room. It flickered, revealing half a reflection in the fogged mirror. Someone had written in red lipstick. "Where is my krathon?" Krathon means the paper lantern offering people float during the festival, but this one looked like blood instead of wax. The sound of running water filled the silence. The bathtub faucet was on, but no water came out. Just a hissing, like air escaping from a throat. Then, the bell stopped. Dead quiet. I turned, and Lynn pointed her phone light toward the bed. Man sat cross-legged on it, eyes rolled completely white, whispering something under her breath. Her brass bell floated in midair, spinning slowly. "Stop!" I shouted. "Man!" No reaction. Vi's laptop was still open beside her, Word document glowing on the screen. She'd been typing something before she screamed. The last line read, "She's behind me." Don't. The cursor blinked after that. And then the hotel phone rang. Not ours. The one in their room. I picked it up. Hello. A small voice answered. Childlike. Thai accent. Floor 76 has no guests. Click. The line went dead. We ran back to 7610. Lynn was crying now, whispering prayers. I locked the door and shoved the dresser against it. The clock on the nightstand read 12:59 a.m. That's when the speakers in our room turned on. A woman's voice, soft, distant, trembling. My child, don't let go of me. I froze. I knew that voice. It was the one buried in the static earlier. And underneath it, children laughing again. Only this time, the laughter looped, like tape winding backward. I grabbed my recorder and hit play, just to make sure I wasn't hallucinating. But the device had already been recording by itself. On the screen, the time code flashed. 13 minutes and 7 seconds, child laughter. 13 minutes and 12 seconds, woman crying. 13 minutes and 18 seconds, wind rush, glass breaking. Then a fourth sound joined in. A thud. A body hitting concrete. I slammed the recorder off. My hands were numb. Outside, the hallway lights flickered again, buzzing in a rhythm. 3 long flashes. 1 short. 3 long. SOS. But no one was saving us. At 1:03 a.m., someone knocked on our door, 3 times, slow and heavy. I thought it might be man. But when I looked through the peephole, the hallway was empty. Only a pair of small red shoes sat neatly outside, facing inward. There's a time of night when even sound dies. They call it the dead hour, 3 a.m. That's when I learned silence can scream. We never slept. Lynn was curled up beside the window, whispering prayers I didn't recognize. The red shoes outside the door hadn't moved. The lights in our room were dim, flickering like they were trying to breathe. I checked the recorder again, no new files, just that same loop of children laughing and the sound of wind rushing past glass. Then, at 3 o'clock sharp, the power went out. Everything, lights, air conditioner, even the hum of the elevator shaft, stopped. The hotel felt hollow. And in that hollow silence, I heard it again. The bell. From 7608. Ringing slow, then faster, like it was calling something. Lynn grabbed my arm. Don't go, she whispered. But I already was. The hallway looked longer than before, stretching into blackness. Each step echoed too loud, like the floor was empty under the carpet. When I reached 7608, the door was wide open. The air was freezing, thick with incense smoke. Candles were burning on the floor, forming a circle. Inside it sat man, still cross-legged, still chanting. Her eyes rolled back, her mouth moving too fast to form words. Where's Vi? I shouted. No answer. Only the flicker of candles and the faint sound of water dripping from the bathroom. I stepped closer. The brass bell hovered in front of her face, spinning so fast it hummed like an engine. Man. I grabbed her shoulders. Her head jerked up. Both eyes pure white. Her voice, not hers anymore. She took the lantern, it said. She let it die. The wind slammed the window open. Cold air howled through the room. Curtains flapped like wings. Outside the window. Vi. Standing on the narrow ledge, barefoot. Her hair whipped across her face, but she was smiling. In her hands, she held a small paper lantern, krathon, flame burning bright at first, then flickering out. No. I lunged forward, but man screamed, don't touch her. Too late. The flame died completely. And then, everything moved backward. The air sucked in. The candles burned in reverse. The smoke flowed down instead of up. Vai's body fell silently into the dark, but the sound came a heartbeat later, a soft, wet thud that echoed through the building. The bell shattered midair. Man collapsed. I don't remember running, only the cold of the stairwell under my feet, the way Lin's breath hitched beside me. When we reached the lobby, Mr. Somchai was waiting. His silver cross was black now, tarnished like burnt metal. He looked at me with tired eyes. 7 years ago, he said, a mother and her 2 children jumped from floor 76. The lantern they made, her Krathon, went out before it touched the river. She believed it meant her wish was denied. He paused. Every Loi Krathon, she returns. Looking for someone to relight it. I tried to speak, but no sound came out. Somchai glanced at my recorder, still in my hand. You recorded her, he said. She'll keep speaking now. Until you answer. He turned and walked away. His footsteps made no sound this time. We left at 4 a.m. The sky over Bangkok was turning pale. The streets were quiet, the river below still dotted with floating lights. Lin didn't say a word. Man was half conscious, whispering fragments of prayers. Back in our room, before we left, I checked the balcony one last time. The circle of candles was gone. But on the rail, there were 3 new Krathongs, each shaped like a person. 1 taller. 2 small. All burning, upside down. A week later, Lin developed the film from her camera. In the last photo, the one she took at the balcony, Vi was there. Standing behind Man, smiling at the lens. The lantern in her hands glowed blue. That night, while reviewing the audio from my recorder, I noticed a new file. It wasn't there before. The timestamp read, 3 hours. I pressed play. Static. Then, the same woman's voice, whispering in Thai. My child, don't let go of me. And faintly, beneath it, the sound of someone humming. Lin's voice. They reopened the top floors of Bayok Sky last month. Room 7608 is available again. I saw a new review this morning. View is beautiful. Free floating lanterns on the balcony. But don't light them upside down. Vi Travel Diary, account created 3 years ago.